On my birthday, my husband let his sister humiliate me at dinner, and that single night turned me from a wife into their worst nightmare. On my birthday, my spouse took me to a restaurant with his sister, who chose his meal, ridiculed my attire, and called me a temporary stand-in with a purpose. He chuckled. When I tried to leave, he tugged my chair back and said, "Don't be impolite, she's kin." I stayed quiet as they traded private quips I couldn't follow. That night, I checked into a hotel. The next day, her prized designer handbag was drenched in fuel and pushed through their letterbox. It was my 34th birthday. I didn't expect grandeur, just a calm evening with my husband, Nathan. We'd been together just over a year, wed for 4 months. It was my first birthday as a married woman, and despite recent arguments, I hoped this night would rekindle our bond. He said he'd booked a dinner spot but kept it secret, calling it a surprise. I wore a deep blue wrap dress I reserved for special moments, styled my hair, and spritzed on a fragrance he once complimented. I stood by the door, nerves and anticipation swirling in my gut. When we arrived at the restaurant and I spotted his sister's car, my heart sank. I said nothing. I forced a smile and followed him in. His sister, Claire, was already at the table. She rose with a false grin and brushed a kiss near my cheek. She scanned me head to toe and said, "You look decent. I used to wear dresses like that back in high school." I gave a strained laugh. She sat down and signaled the waiter. "We'll both take the steak rare," she said, gesturing to herself and Nathan. I hadn't even glanced at the menu. No one asked my preference. Nathan didn't correct her. He didn't even glance my way. He just nodded and said, "And the red wine, the one we got last time." The one they got last time. Throughout the meal, they chatted as if I were invisible. They shared private jokes, old tailies, coded phrases. She mentioned his past girlfriends by name as if I should know them. One story ended with her saying, "Honestly, you're just a placeholder, a warm body with a purpose, but hey, he needed someone." I looked at Nathan. He grinned. My fork hovered near my lips. I froze. I said nothing. My cheeks burned. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. When I finally stood to leave, I slid my chair back deliberately. I didn't look at them. I grabbed my bag. Nathan's hand darted out, jerking the chair back sharply, stopping me. "Don't be rude," he said, eyes fixed elsewhere. "She's family." I sat back down, not because I wanted to, but because my hands trembled and I feared I'd cry in front of them if I walked away. I stayed silent for the rest of the dinner. I ate, swallowed, and smiled when prompted, but each of their laughs at jokes I didn't get chipped away at me. When we got home, I waited until Nathan was asleep. I took my wallet, phone, and keys. I drove to a hotel 20 minutes away and booked 2 nights. I didn't cry, I didn't even think. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. The word placeholder echoed in my mind. The next morning, I returned to the house while they slept. Claire had stayed over. Her car was in the drive. Her handbag, a tan Yves Saint Laurent she always bragged about, sat on the entry table. I took it. I carried it to the garage. There was a red fuel can Nathan kept for the lawnmower. I poured gas into the bag until the leather darkened and sagged. Then I shoved it, soaked and heavy, through the front door's letterbox. And I left. I turned off my phone. This is just a short part of the story. For the full story, click the link below and watch it on our channel. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, so you never miss the amazing stories we upload next.